This time, it's all about how to see ghosts. Are you ready to face the fear? I'm going to tell you about an experience I had when I was in my sophomore year of high school. Ever since elementary school, I've loved spooky stories, always checking out books and special TV shows on the topic. Even in high school, I would gather with others who shared this interest, and we'd exchange ghost stories. I always wanted to see a ghost. One day, while eating lunch in the classroom, Kay, who was kind of our leader, D.S., and I were swapping ghost tales when our classmate Y casually joined in. There were girls there too, shrieking in fright, so I figured Y wanted to join in the fun. Then Y asked Kay, "Hey, have you ever seen a ghost?" Kay responded, "Number. I've tried a lot of things and gone to a lot of places to see one, but no luck." Y then offered, "If you really want to see a ghost, should I tell you a surefire way?" Kay eagerly asked, "What? What is it?" According to Y, who claimed to have always been able to see spirits since childhood, and was now unfazed by them, it was something to be cautious about, as not all spirits were easy to handle. Y said he had come over to give us a word of caution since we always talked about such topics. "If you do as I say, you'll definitely see one. What do you say?" Y proposed. Kay exclaimed, "Yes, tell us." The rest of us were equally thrilled. "Really? Let's see this." Y revealed that the method involved visiting sites of unexpected deaths, or homicides where the deceased had left lingering attachments to this world, and sympathizing deeply with them, thinking thoughts like, "You poor soul. You had so much left to do here. I wish I could take your place." This would assuredly manifest a ghost. We decided to try this out on the coming Saturday. Our group included K, D, S, me, and an older buddy, Senior S. The girls, who usually were all screams, opted out due to the creepiness. Our destination was a mountain trail in O City on the outskirts of Tokyo, our hometown, being K City, a site where a 24-year-old office lady was brutally attacked and her lifeless body discovered. Though it was a fairly recent event, the sheer impact of gathering newspaper articles and other documents from the library might have made us feel somewhat haunted ourselves. At midnight on Saturday, we met outside Senior S's house and drove to the site in his car. While we joked around cheerily during the drive, it was evident that underneath everyone was nervous. As the car moved from urban streets to more secluded country roads, I began to think this might be a bad idea. The surroundings turned to predominantly fields and forests, and as cars became scarce, Kay, who was navigating from a map, suddenly announced, "This is the place," his voice cracking. It was just past 1:30 a.m. We parked the car at the roadside and set out to find the exact location. I took out my cassette recorder and flashlight and secretly pocketed an amulet for protection. D was taking photos with a cheap disposable camera he picked up at a convenience store. Senior S stayed in the car and turned off the headlights, plunging us into darkness. But the street lamps and moonlight made our surroundings faintly visible. About 50 meters down a side path leading toward the mountain, the air grew noticeably colder. As we reached a place where someone had been tragically killed, suddenly, S gasped. "What's up?" I asked. Pointing toward the ground diagonally ahead, S was indicating a cleared spot where a small sake cup and incense sticks were set up, surrounded by flowers. I shone my flashlight there, illuminating everybody's ghostly pale, lifeless faces. Everyone was silent. Feeling cowardly, my legs trembled, and my stomach went weak. This was a bad idea. This was not normal. I blurted out, "Maybe we should just forget it. This is no joke." But Kay contrarily snapped, "What are you talking about? We've come all the way here. We have to do it." Both D and S looked on the verge of tears. "What if it actually appears?" D whispered weakly. "Idiot, that's why we're here. But we can always run," Kay shouted, obviously scared himself but masking it with loud defiance. Eventually, Kay's persistence won out, and we decided to call out the spirit. We all closed our eyes, faced the flower-adorned spot, and placed our hands together, counting to 3 and sympathizing deeply. I had the recorder on, lying at my feet. Beyond here, all I could hear were the cries of insects and the rustling of leaves stirred by an occasional breeze. As I closed my eyes, I fervently prayed, "Please, I beg you, do not appear." I was serious. There was no way I wanted to see a ghost. And yet, it was odd, I had wanted to see one so badly before. As I sat there, it felt like less than a minute in retrospect. I felt a sudden shift in the atmosphere around me. And then, my mouth started to taste odd. It was a strange, metallic taste, almost as if I was terrified to the point of dryness, or maybe it was a prelude to fainting. Suddenly, an inarticulate scream erupted. Ah! What's happening? I jumped up and looked around at the others. Kay was sitting down, staring fixedly ahead with his mouth wide open. Looking ahead, I saw a woman lying on her back, only her neck raised, looking right at us. My mind went blank. It was like watching a scene from a movie in slow motion. Ah! I ran like rolling away from the spot, heading back the way we came in utter disarray. I could see D and S running ahead. Where's Kay? And I forgot the cassette. Unbelievably, amidst the panic, I thought of these things. When I looked back, I could still see Kay at the same spot. Dangerous. I ran back, snatched the cassette, smacked Kay on the head who was still sitting. Looking sternly at the woman, she was still in the same position but her outline began to shimmer, and her form, almost like a soap bubble, gradually thinned and vanished. Dragging the bewildered Kay behind, I was filled with anger. I told you not to come out. Of course, in hindsight, it was selfish of me to think so at the moment. Finally reaching the car, D and S were crazily gesturing to us. Come on. What are you doing? Run. As we sped off in the car, I narrated everything to our senior, who stiffened and kept glancing back in the rearview mirror. According to Kay, he had been paralyzed momentarily during which he had locked eyes with the woman. In the car, we all exchanged what we witnessed, confirming it matched. It was indeed a ghost. The spirit of a slain woman had appeared. That seemed the most natural explanation. We concluded that. The next Sunday, we gathered at Kay's house, waiting for Y. We recounted everything from the previous day, seeking Y's judgment as he could see ghosts. After a while, Y arrived, his face somber. After hearing the entirety of yesterday's events, he simply said, I knew it. Y said, I had a bad feeling about this. We really went and did it. Kay retorted, you were the one who brought it up. Y said, how could there be a woman assaulted and killed? Kay said, you said it yourself, those who have lingering attachments. Y asked, so, did you pity her? Kay replied, yes, of course. I was the one who prayed she wouldn't appear, I said. Me too, added D and S. Was it really a ghost? Y confirmed, yes, definitely. Kay weakly smiled, I locked eyes with that woman. And now, she's sitting on your shoulder, said Y. The winter of that year, Kay took a leave of absence and subsequently dropped out the following year. His family moved to Nagano. I won't elaborate on the reason. Later, it occurred to me. Was Y originally trying to warn us not to get involved with spirits too much? Then why did he teach us how to summon them? After Kay moved, Y started dating C, who was Kay's girlfriend. The day Y approached us, C was also near Kay. Maybe it's all in my head. It doesn't matter now. The next day, we all listened to the cassette. Among the static, faintly, a woman's voice could be heard saying, painful, painful. Y said she was saying painful, but to me, it sounded more like frustrating. Everyone, how was it? You were expecting a scary story, but it was more thrilling than you expected, right? But you know, maybe even ghosts enjoy this kind of thrill. Look forward to next time.